This episode of After Dark is brought to you by Shutterstock. For 25% off your new account, head on over and use the offer code Gamebreaker9 when checking out.
Gamebreaker TV.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to After Dark, the live call-in show where you guys call in live and ask your questions each and every week on Tuesday at 9 p.m. PST. So if you haven't checked the show out live, it's the only way you can come in and be a part of the conversation, so you guys should do so. Prep your questions and call us in each week. Joining us on the panel to talk about your questions, coming all the way, it's like across the country, coming all the way from freetoplay.tv and XIV, Mr. One, Mr. Drinky, Mike Byrne.
I had no idea who you were going to first there. I'm like, is he... Okay, so he's talking about being close. That's me. I'm on the other side of the... No, he's making a joke about being... Is it... God damn it, it's my...
It's my turn, damn it!
It's me.
So I actually, hang on real quick. I got something I gotta throw to you, but first, before I ask you this question, you guys know him, you guys love him, so we decided to bring him back. The one, the only, Mr. Kiggles.
Mike Shavnit Jr.
Mike Shavnit, it's, yep, definitely following in my former hair steps, I guess. Kiggles, I got a question for you.
I'm prettier, though.
Kiggles, I'm kind of mad at you, hang on. Before we get to any of the calls, I've got something to go for both of you.
Who isn't mad at me?
I'm mad at you, Kiggles. I really am. Why would you come on this show and not tell us that you're on a diving team?
Fuck my legs. Leave me alone. Oh my god. I'm not on a diving team. I was.
Good.
What a dive!
Whoa, Russian judge over here.
You only got a 7.5 out of Burn, but that was impressive.
I would have given you higher, but you had a goofy ass grin at your friend while swimming out.
Hey, that was my coach, and she was an Olympian, so you all can suck it.
Well, I'm sure she got higher than a 7.5 then, so.
Damn.
Yeah, she did. She was way better than me.
So, Burn, real quick, before we get to these questions, I gotta ask you something.
I also have a question, so this is great. Let's get it all out.
This is like, forget the callers. This is our own show at this point. We're just gonna talk about our things that came up. This literally just came to me when I saw you sitting there. You're wearing Gunnars right now, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
What do you think of them? What is your thought? Because I just bought my first pair, and unfortunately they were too small for my head, so I had to send them back.
Well, I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere.
That's why I started laughing. But I had some skeptics and some problems with it. But I just wanted to ask. You've used Gunnars now for at least for most of the shows that I've seen you on. Is it a gimmick?
I wear them. I've had these particular ones for about a year, little less than a year. These are prescription, to be fair, so I do need them to see. Since I can't stand contact lenses. Besides the Gamebreaker stuff, doing the videos, the shows, the stuff like that, the writing the articles and all that stuff, in my daytime job, I also do nothing but stare at monitors. I'm a software engineer, database guy, so it's monitors there, monitors here, and so I was like, yeah, I'll try them out. If I'm being 100% honest, there's nothing that you can't get on a normal pair of prescription glasses if you just wanted to pay a couple extras and get the amber tint or get the glare or get one or two of the features here and there. So many of the claims, I can't really prove them for you. I just happen to like them. I think they look nice, and I use them to see. So if you had to shell out big money for them, I would say they're a tad on the overpriced side if you're just going for them cosmetically. But if you can get a pair of prescription lenses with your insurance if you're in the United States, that's definitely worth looking out if you think they're kind of snazzy and you like them.
Well, I didn't mind. I mean, and I was looking at the price, and the one thing, much like you, I mean, obviously, and I think a lot of people that are even watching the show, which is why I feel fine bringing it up, are in the situation where they're potentially staring at a computer screen all day. On top of my gaming habits, just like you, I'm in front of a computer editing for 12, 13 hours straight. And I suffer from massive headaches and eye strain. What was finally the tipping point was there was one morning when I was editing Waypoint that I literally lost all vision in my left eye. It just became a blurry mess. And it was after a long night of working early in the morning and then waking up. I might have cancer.
Say, I'm pretty sure that's called a stroke. and I don't think these help. Despite the price tag, I don't think these help.
Well,
they don't cure strokes.
That was going to be my solution. That was going to be my solution for strokes. And then next I was going to figure out a solution for cancer. But that was Gunnars were my stepping stone. I don't know. That's the thing though.
There are people that will swear by them as far as just the tint and taking the yellow and blues and making it a little softer for you. I'm not going to swear by any of the features. I like them. They're prescription, so they were pretty much the same cost as normal lenses anyway. So I'm a fan of them, but if you're just looking cosmetically, it's something you'd really, really have to think about, because it's one of those things where, Mike, you may swear by them, that they stopped your headaches, and then me, it doesn't make a difference. It's so hit and miss with the customer. Do some research first.
The one other thing I want to bring up, and then we'll get to some callers. I know you had a question as well, but we will get to some
God,
callers.
they're not a sponsor, huh?
Yeah, I know, right?
Damn it, stop being in my goddamn head all the time.
Listen, we sit here and take questions all fucking for almost a year. All right, I'm sorry that I finally got a question.
I'm worthless if I don't have my joke.
So one more thing that I want to throw to you, and then we'll get to some callers.
I have a question too. Damn it!
Fine, you get your question next.
Whoa.
All right, go ahead.
So all right. The one thing is I just sent mine back because, like I said, they were too big for my head. And I found that they were clamping.
Okay, wait. Was your head too big, or were they too big for your head?
No, sorry. Now. They were too small. They were too small for my head. My head was too big.
So you had a massive head.
Yes. Big head, big ego. I'm with you. So no, but here's the thing. I'm just asking you, do you suffer from this? Because I went through and I looked at a lot of the specs, and I ended up buying the RPG ones because they were some of the biggest that I could find. But do you suffer from this as well? The other concern that I had was they were so small that they were designed so that they could fit to multiple head sizes. But even when the springs were pushing outward to fit my head, the constant pressure that I was feeling from the springs not resting the way that they should was causing even more headaches. So I was just wondering, do you have that problem with yours at all?
No, but that could be because I got mine from an optometrist and they fitted the glasses before I left that day. So
gotcha.
Were you just kind of screwing
like a glove?
like a glove? Were you just kind of screwing with them at home?
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't actually get it then fitted. I ordered them through Gunnars' website and they had them shipped to my house. So they're definitely just like stock, not fitted for my head. And I guess going to an optometrist and getting them actually sized. I mean, I need glasses too. So why not go your route?
These. True story about these. Previous site that I worked for, I got hooked up with the Gunnar company and ran a giveaway. And we gave away like 4 or 5 pairs of the non-prescription lenses. That's when I was first introduced to them, and I found out that they did the prescription thing, so I sought that out. I said, yeah, I can need a new pair anyway. We'll go with that, and I'll be the most qualified person to write a review on these because I'll wear them for a year or so. Go to the optometrist, and they're like, so what do you do? And I'm like, well, I do this video game thing on the side. It's like journalism, but not really, and explain it to them, and they're like, oh, that's really cool. You'll have to tell us if these work or not.
Oh, that's nice.
It's the optometrist.
Way to give us a vote of confidence there.
I don't know if these are going to work. These seem like a scam.
All right, so here's my question. I tweeted this out, was it yesterday or whatever, and Missy is going to kill me if I don't ask it. So if you made, in theory, if you made a clone of your significant other there,
you killed me. I was totally ready to bring this up, and you just had to bring it
go
up.
for it. Yeah, fine. First question. Let's get started.
First question coming in from Mike Byrne. I don't know if you guys have heard of him at Magic Man 1. If you guys clone your girlfriend and you all sleep together, is it technically a threesome? Did you just cheat on either one of them? Moral dilemmas. So let's just start this off, because I know this was a topic, like, I think just last week when I was talking about bringing other people on the show. Clearly, this is not just a video game show anymore. So if it was before, we've just crossed that line. Clone your girlfriend.
Twitter had some weird answers.
Let's look at some of this. Let's look at, before we give ours, let's look at what Twitter had to go with.
Twitter had some weird answers. Really.
Only one clone from Hybrid Lizard. Squirrel thinks it's technically not cheating, but I'm sure that you could use it to technically get off.
To which I replied, brilliant wording.
You could use it to get off, I'm sure.
Corey Ward with a hashtag like more dilemmas. It makes me wonder, are you actually having this problem? I don't know, Byrne, were you actually having this problem?
No, I replied later that my wife no longer allows me to clone the girlfriend, so it's not a problem on my side anymore.
I see.
Okay, but let's break that whole sentence down, okay? My wife doesn't allow me to clone my girlfriend anymore. So what you're telling me is you got a little on the side.
Well, it's not on the side if she knows it's going on. It's not on the side, right?
It's only cheating if she doesn't know.
Right. If you're just being all secretive.
Come on, you gotta share it with Shaftnet. He's got that big head to take care of.
I shared with Shaftnet. He can't decide. Before the show, he had girth issues. Now it's huge.
This is gonna go down a completely different turn under the same topic, because there's been someone who's brought up the same conversation, but in a different direction. They said if you clone yourself and you and you have sex with yourself, is it just masturbation?
Well, and that became part of this discussion.
And you're stupid if you think so.
Yeah, that became part of this discussion, was if you had that threesome, were they technically, masturbating? So it got out there. And then somebody gave me the Eve answer, is that since only one clone can actually be sentient at a time, that makes you very, very weird with a dead clone right there. So there's all kinds of
way to bring it back to the games there, Mike Byrne. All right, here's the short answer. Ready? No. It is cheating, and you're stupid if you don't think it's cheating, okay? Because even though they're cloned, they have their own brain. They don't have they're not twins. But
they're both the same person.
Twins.
They're both the same person.
No, they are not. They are not. You're wrong, and you should feel stupid about saying that.
If they were a perfect clone, they'd be the same person.
No, they wouldn't.
Same brain, same shared
wrong,
thoughts.
And you're dumb for arguing about impossible science and fictional situations.
They would be the same person at the point that they were cloned. And then they would have different life experiences unless you kept them together and they did everything equally. But even then, they would be different.
And if I could, clone my girlfriend and this was like a whole situation, they would be kept in the same place and doing the same things all the time. All right,
let's get this back on track.
I tried with the video
I know
games,
you did. You brought it into Eve, and then Kick was like, nope, not taking that door. Hey, here's that door. I'm even going to mention it. Way to bring it back to video games, but I'm closing it again because I'm going to bring this where I want to bring this.
I have one more thing to say, by the way. If you clone yourself and you masturbate with them, yes, you're gay, okay? Don't try and... No, you're a homosexual, okay? You're masturbating with another guy, you're a big homo. Go get your rainbow flag.
This is already going to be a great show. Caller on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, tell us your question.
Hello, Howard Stern. This is Zista.
Hi, Zista. This is Howard. Yeah, pretty much.
Baba Booey. Baba Booey.
Kind of on topic. I remember seeing a movie a really long time ago where the big reveal was at the end. The guy actually went back in time to sex change himself and screwed himself.
He screwed
I
it. Wait,
don't know.
what?
He went back in time, had a sex change, found himself, and he screwed himself. It was
The
really
ultimate
weird.
That is the
revenge
most
on
fucked up
oneself.
person I've ever heard.
Was this like on at 2 in the morning on Cinemax? What were you watching?
I'm pretty sure it was Cinemax. But I don't know. It was a long time ago. It was like 15 years ago. Anyway.
Back to the fucture. Sorry, that was a really bad joke.
All right,
I feel
Zista,
like
what do you
I did
got?
call into the Howard Stern show, though.
Yeah, that's what this is going to become.
Well, all right. When I first heard of the Oculus Rift, I kind of thought it was like a pipe dream. It was like something really far out. But now rumor has it that PlayStation is actually in talks of coming out with their own virtual reality headset, and there's even rumors that they're going to up Oculus Rift and kind of do something together. Do you think this would be good competition for Xbox Connect?
No.
You're kind of cutting in and out there at the end, Zista. But I don't know. Do you guys think?
No.
Hang on, real quick. Actually, Zista, if you're still there, how is
Yeah.
this competition for the Xbox? How is the Rift
Right.
competition for the Kinect?
Well, I'm saying because it's supposed to be going to PlayStation.
The Oculus
PlayStation
Rift.
It's supposed to have a virtual reality helmet similar to the Oculus Rift. There's
Right.
rumor that
that's
Oculus
proprietary
Rift
to
and
Sony, I believe. They're talking about making their own,
yes,
right?
their own version, but there's also rumor Oculus Rift and they're going to partner up to release it for the PlayStation, a version of it for the PlayStation.
No, it's not. I think they don't do the same thing. They don't do anywhere near the same thing as far as creating an experience. So from a technology, what it does standpoint, I don't think the two items are competition. Also, there's the argument that the Kinect frickin' sucks. So there's that too. But the third piece, and I think maybe you're talking about competing in a peripherals matchup. Just can we sell a peripheral with our system that will entice somebody to buy the actual system? I don't see this as a competition. I just see it as entirely two different spectrums. And I'm a little leery of all of them, quite frankly. I don't like the Kinect. And now we're finding out that going forward, we're not going to have it connected, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to sell every single one with the Kinect. We'll see. And I'm very leery of helmet things like that. I still have a Virtual Boy and all that fun stuff. And yeah, I don't know if I would buy a system for either of them. So to me, the competition, if it's there, which I don't think it is, really doesn't matter.
Here's the thing. Everybody seems to think that Oculus Rift is a hot button. I remember I was sitting in line for GTA 5, and even the people next to me were talking about it and about how cool it looks, and they knew people that tried it out, and it looks so cool. I'm still of the notion we don't want to do that kind of work when it comes to playing our games. It's a gimmick. It really is. It's a cool immersion factor, and it's fun to play occasionally, but much like the Wii and the PlayStation Move and the Kinect, we as gamers don't want to be standing up and moving around and actually in virtual reality unless it means that we can sit down and do nothing, kind of like the animes and Dot Hack show kind of emulates it. I don't know. Do you guys really think that virtual reality is something that could, if you could have the Oculus Rift in your home right now, would you even enjoy using it?
Yes.
Is there porn?
Actually, it's being developed, yes.
Of course it is, because that's the only reason it's going to be used. You kidding me? Fully immersive porn. Let's go.
It's not like it's 3D porn. It
This
just
is what
literally like you can
happens when
look
you start off
around.
with threesomes, okay? Now you got my mind going all dirty, and it's your fault, Mike Shaftnit.
Shaftnit would be like, I'm going to play Tibia. Let me play Tibia. Oh, look at this. It looks like shit in 3D.
It's so cool and real.
Oh my god. Oh.
But I think there's a market for it. There certainly is. I mean, I'm going to buy it because I'm a video game collecting sucker. So I'm going to buy it, and there's going to be things that I enjoy about it. But I think you're right as far as, like, the durability of it. These types of things don't do well in the home market, but they do really, really well in the very, very limited arcade market that still exists in the US. I like it. It's interesting. It doesn't create a competition between the consoles for me, but it's a novelty. It's not something I have to have.
But that's what I'm saying.
I want to be a VR trooper.
We are VR. We are VR troopers.
I don't even want to be affiliated with this show anymore.
No? No?
Hey,
Are you sure?
After you singing stuff like that.
Come on. You telling me that you haven't heard this amazing, awesome...
Countdown control. 4, 3, 2, 1.
VR.
Oh. That and Power Rangers.
VR troopers. All right. So good. Anyway, let's take up another caller and keep the show moving along before we stay stagnant on VR troopers for too long. Caller on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, tell us your question.
Hey guys, this is Zaris Miskul from chat, Robert from Utah. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Burns' favorite caller from last week, I'm sure. So I'm just calling in to find out, well, kind of two questions, if I'm too short. But first off, I've been reading some of the different articles here on Gamebreaker, and they're definitely covering some of the stuff with the Warcraft movie. And I wanted to find out, like, what you guys think of the actors that we were hearing about so far, which is like Colin Farrell. Got who else do we see on here? There was someone Patton, Paula Patton, who apparently is the one already in negotiations for an unspecified lead role. Probably Jaina, I would assume. But yeah, I mean, like, what you guys think of the people that we've heard about? I mean, we heard about Johnny Depp for someone. I mean, I think he might be Vol'jin or something. But
that was
like, what you guys think about all the actors and who you would place them as? And then also, are you guys having any issues with the launcher for WoW? Because I'm having a lot of issues.
What issues specifically?
I'll take the second
So,
one.
like,
No, I don't have any issues with the launcher for WoW. None.
Issue.
It doesn't open just fine.
almost as well as Final Fantasy, right?
Oh, that one, opens up like this, baby. Clockwork.
It's
Oh,
just a matter of
working
logging
now.
in. That's just
Okay,
all you can
that's
do.
good. Oh, okay. So the issue I'm having with launcher, like, it keeps, like, it'll launch most of the time, but then, like, sometimes I'll get, like, duplicate logins, where it'll say, like, I've already logged in and I haven't logged in yet, or, like, it'll just randomly disconnect to me, which never happened before they switched over to this launcher, so I'm assuming it has something to do with the launcher. I don't know. It could just be a fluke, or maybe it's just me. Q said it might still be even in beta, so I wasn't sure.
I think it's in open beta at the moment, but
Is it?
I
Okay.
think that they may or may not have forced it on everyone.
Where's my key? I need a key. Give me a key, goddammit!
It's in open beta. You can go download it from the website.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Hearthstone, so I was in my bitching mode. Game, I got me a key!
Kickles just heard open beta and it was just like, what? Hearthstone?
What?
I don't have my key.
I want a key.
Like the whole internet. Okay, Kickles, you probably play, I think you play WoW frequently, more than I do. I haven't run into any issues like multiple login issues, but I'm usually only logging in once, maybe twice a day. Have you run into any launcher issues yourself?
No, I haven't used the beta. If he's talking about the beta, then I haven't used that, or the Battle.net browser. I haven't, or the login. I haven't used that one, but no, I really haven't run into anything. They said that there was stuff happening with the browser today or yesterday or some. I don't know. I know it happened at the launch of 5.4, but that was a server thing. I have no clue. Don't ask me. I'm not one of those people.
So then, Mike, what do you
no,
think
I
about?
have not had any problems.
What do you think about the first part of his question with all the actors who are playing, or who are kind of surfacing under the roles of playing certain World of Warcraft characters? What do you think of them? What do you think of the ones that we're kind of hearing about?
To me, Colin is a bit of a weird pick. I think I'm not very sold on it, but it doesn't instantly make me go, oh my god, they're casting this wrong already. So Colin, just kind of, I'm gonna wait on that one. Now,
You think it could be Arthas?
I don't think so.
I have it.
Arthas.
I have it on pretty good authority that it's. I mean, I know that they've come out and said that it's going to be about the past. It's going to be about before he becomes the Lich King. But I do think that they are probably in one of the things that I found where I read where they were hiring production people for the movie. They specifically were talking about the Lich King, so I don't think that they would bring him up if he wasn't going to be an element in it. And usually they secure. Usually they secure.
I don't know if anybody Blizz related is watching right now, but you got your Hogger right here. I'll do it for peanuts, man.
You know, honestly, Blizzard's so good at injecting pop culture into their movies or into their game. If they're not good at injecting their World of Warcraft pop culture into movies, then they've got something wrong. Because I think like stuff like that is what fans want to see. Even if it's like a complete throwaway and makes no sense, I think that fans would be happy to see it. And I like the fact, I know that, you know, obviously having a film crew take over the franchise makes it a little bit harder because they're going to try and take their own creative spin on it. But the fact that Chris Metzen is, I think, an executive producer or an associate producer, I'm not sure which one, but the fact that he's working so closely with it means that and that it's taken so long to produce, they're going to want to try and maintain a little bit of creative control, if not all.
Yeah, and he referenced the piece that Summer put up on Gamebreaker, which if you didn't read, definitely worth checking out. It's a nice piece and it's very, very funny what the Twitterverse thinks, because he referenced like Johnny Depp and stuff. Those were in this piece like, we would like to see these people as these people.
Yeah,
it was kind of a wish list. It was not an official casting call. Great piece by Summer. Definitely check it out because Johnny Depp was on there as potentially a Vol'jin, and The Rock was on there as Garrosh. So it's a lot of fun. A great piece. Check that out.
There was also a piece that went up though where this is on Gamebreaker. Colin Farrell and Paula Patton offered leading roles in WoW film.
Yep, that one was the real deal, and then that's what sparked Summer's piece of let's see what Twitter thinks the rest of the cast could be.
Jiggles, what do you think?
I think I have 3 or 4 things about this. One, we have this funny thing. When I saw Paula Patton, I didn't know who she was, and immediately my mind goes to Paula Poundstone.
Do I even want to Google that?
You don't know who Paula Poundstone is?
Continue while I Google that.
Wow.
Oh, Lord.
Boy, did this room just get dated.
So that I Googled Paula Patton, and I'm like, oh, yeah, she seems like she would be more of a fit for WoW than Paula Poundstone. And then I saw Summers, which I actually really liked. I agree with a lot of them. I thought Vol'jin, I thought Johnny Depp as Vol'jin would be brilliant without the crow on his head, obviously. Because he can make that quirky character, lovable character work. But I have one issue with that article.
Garrosh is lovable? Vol'jin. You're talking about Johnny Depp. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna sit here and keep drinking my alcohol.
Because the Lone Ranger was such a great movie that I think that we should put him in another tribal role and put face paint on him.
It was a terrible movie from the beginning.
Well,
Are you kidding me?
I won't just blame Johnny Depp. I'll agree with you on that, but
if you came at me with that was the same role that he's played for the past 10 years in whatever that pirate movie was,
any actor
Legends of
ever.
the Caribbean, I would agree with you.
So, but that's actors are stereotyped. Look at Bruce Willis. Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. Every actor
They're not
hates.
actors. Are you kidding me? Look at the real actors, please.
George Clooney plays practically the same role in everything that he plays. Denzel
Okay, but
Washington.
He's a pop culture actor. He's not. He can.
Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Who's able to
Because
do
every actor here seems to be getting thrown into a category that doesn't apply.
I don't know. Let's see. Fuck. Who's the one that was in Romeo and Juliet and then Titanic and
Leonardo DiCaprio?
there you
DiCaprio.
go. Leo's a good actor.
Oh, come on.
Anne Hathaway,
He plays the
as
same
much-
role in every movie.
No, he
I
doesn't.
agree.
You're a liar.
I agree
You're
with
a
you.
damn liar.
I
You
agree
take
with you that he's a
Like-
good actor, but he does not play. He practically plays the same role in every movie.
He does.
The
He plays
suave,
the
debonair-
2021 suave something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. Brad Pitt has played some good roles. Shut up. I'm just bypassing. You two need to be quiet. You asked me my
Yes.
opinion,
He's-
and then you interrupt me. So simmer down, children. Mama's got a thing to teach you.
He's like, Leo's cute. It doesn't matter what he plays.
All right, let's
But
open
I
up the
have one-
lines.
Okay, wait. No. I had one thing. But there was. You interrupted me. I had one thing about Summer's thing. I don't want Tom Cruise and his Scientology bullshit anywhere near my goddamn Warcraft movie, okay? He can suck a D. And I know he likes to suck the D.
Then what's your third point?
I don't know. I'm over it. Let's move on. You interrupted me.
You just
My
wanted to
train
get
of
out
thought
that
is
Tom
gone.
Cruise can suck a D. All right,
Yes,
great.
that's basically my biggest point. He can suck
All right.
a D. He likes to suck a D.
Suck a Draenei? He can suck a Draenei.
Wow, really?
Holy
Move on.
body.
Move on. We're done.
I
Caller.
wasn't invited.
Caller,
Let's
you're
go
on
to
the
the
line.
next question.
Caller, you're on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us your question.
I don't think that anybody's there.
Hello?
They're on a website getting graphics.
Oh,
Are
they're looking
they?
at their VR porn.
They're
Hey.
pulling up some graphics.
Look at that. They're pulling up some graphics. Well, you know what? While we get someone on the line, because yeah. Real quick question. You guys a fan of Dexter at all on Showtime?
No.
No.
Just throwing me out
I don't like
to
the
the
show.
pasture.
Well, yes,
That's
Chef,
fine.
I
You know
love
what? That's
Dexter.
fine. That's fine. You don't have to like Dexter because it totally isn't worth watching if you saw the season finale. But if you have been watching Dexter, there's a little snippet in there that I want to show you guys because it's awesome. So I'm gonna play a piece. It won't give
Wasn't it the
anything
series
away.
Finale?
It was the series finale and it was awful. But
Yeah.
just real
Let's
quick,
get our terms right
let's
there, Missy.
let's I just want to show you guys something real quick. Just real quick. It's coming up. I didn't have it exactly cued where I needed it to, but here it comes. Watch closely. Watch closely. What's that? It's peeking over the left side of the screen. Hurricane alert! Oh my gosh, there's a hurricane.
God. I don't
Spoilers.
need no goddamn bullshit. I'm off this show.
But
Crap.
what I
Your
wanted to say,
Shutterstock
what I want to say,
bullshit.
I freaked out when I saw that because you want to know why? You can head on over to Shutterstock right now and you can get that graphic. Boom. Right there. I'm not even kidding you.
Oh
If it's
my
good
God.
enough for Showtime and Dexter, it's good enough for you. So why don't you head on over to Shutterstock and get your animations on? That's all I'm saying. We sit here and preach about how the creative industry uses this all the time. There's your proof. It's used all the time, and it's super, super simple to use. Shutterstock's a great service that has 20 million high-quality stock photos, illustrations, vectors, and video clips, and that's a perfect example of when you need something and the cost of making it is just more than the cost to go to a service like Shutterstock and purchase it for yourself. So if you guys haven't checked out Shutterstock, I highly recommend that you guys do so, and you can head over to Shutterstock.com, and when you guys are checking out, if you guys use the offer code Gamebreaker9, you get 25% off, so you can get your Hurricane Alert going right now for 25% off if you use the offer code Gamebreaker9. All right, let's take it back to the callers.
I could just see Chef sitting there with his lady watching Dexter. They're like, "Oh, this is kind of good." Holy shit! Rewind that. Was that the Shutterstock thing? Rewind that. Rewind.
If she was in chat right now, she'd literally tell you that's what happened. I'm not even kidding. Oh my god! I know where they got that graphic. Shutterstock.com. Gamebreaker 9.
Oh, Ashley, why is this your boyfriend? You can do better.
Oh man,
Rude.
brutal. That's so brutal.
All right, let's go ahead and open up the lines and take another caller. Caller in line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us your question.
Hello, man, and you. What?
We got Sean. You're kind of cutting in and out though. I don't know. It sounds since every caller's been cutting in and out. I blame our end. But what's your question?
Well, I'm sure they're gonna blame you anyway.
Everybody always blames me for everything. But if it's a technical difficulty, I did it.
Okay. So, how many of you have played the World of Warcraft trading card game?
The physical one, the actual.
The physical.
I've had cards given to me, but I've never played it on my own.
Oh, quite sad. You missed a lot. In that game, you can play against real raid bosses such as Ragnaros, No Legs, Illidan, and a few others. Do you think something like that is coming to Hearthstone?
I would think magic.
No, it's poor man's magic. I would think that I mean, we've seen the Illidan card played before in Hearthstone matches, so I think that we are seeing those cards introduced to the game. It's just very early on in its inception, and obviously, I don't by any means think that the cards that are in existence right now in Hearthstone are going to be all that they're going to exist. There's going to be more that roll out. They're going to introduce new raid bosses and new cards that people want, and just make them obviously difficult to build. So I don't necessarily know.
What about? Do you think they're going to open up? Do you think they would open up more heroes too? I think that may have been more where the question was aligned to. Are we going to just be with this template we have now? Are we going to see more of those named characters, named raid bosses, big names from the MMO as the heroes, not just cards in the game?
Gotcha. So more playing it from the perspective of like a hero power kind of thing, where you can be like, you're playing as Illidan.
Right.
I think he was actually asking about, is it a card? I think he was actually saying, is this going to be a card? And the answer is probably yes.
Yeah.
Because
we've already seen some.
Well, yeah, but I mean, because a hero would be a more hero. But see, that whole thing with me, that hero thing, that's all complete bullshit. Honestly, it's all just, pretty packaging on a very mediocre game. And it's in beta, so maybe it'll get better, but whatever. I'm the wrong person to talk to about Hearthstone.
You seem kind of like unknowingly bitter. Like, I don't, what's going on?
You're just mad because you don't have a key.
Oh, okay, Shavnit. Okay. Just go run around your house talking about Shutterstock for 5 hours and let the adults talk, okay?
So you're a little jaded on this one, huh?
It's just, I don't know, just the stuff that I've seen.
Well, there was one website giving them away, but you had to click like on their Facebook, and that shit seemed shady.
No, listen, this is, you know what, Mike Byrne? That's not true, because I actually went after... I don't like the way they're giving away the keys, but that's
this show is literally just turned into let's attack the internet.
The way they're
that's my favorite one. It's like, just click like. If you don't want to enter, don't click like. It's not that hard here. Really.
It's a scam. No, it's a scam, Mike Byrne. You want my information?
Right.
I would honestly love a key just to confirm or deny my thoughts based on what I have viewed and watched and talked to other people about. I don't think it's anything special. It's a pretty online client for a very mediocre card game.
So here's what I would say though.
I would actually be inclined to agree with you on that. And I've played the game, and I think right now it's more, there's so few people in it that everybody wants to be in it, so it's so awesome and groundbreaking and everything. When you get in and play it, it's a basic one hero against another, resource management, attack and defend, strategize trading card game. I don't think it rocks the trading card game world to its knees or anything, but it is nicely done, it's polished well, it plays well, and it is mildly addictive if you are into that type of game. So it does everything it needs to do well, but I agree with you. It's not groundbreaking by any stretch of the imagination yet.
So what do you think? Let's just, we'll wrap up this question. But first, Bernard, you brought up kind of an interesting point of the idea of expanding beyond the classes and introducing maybe things like Illidan and Arthas as hero champions. This could be an interesting approach and ways to see expansion, but what do you guys think, based on the way World of Warcraft has handled stuff in the past? Right now, heroes are heavily themed around classes, and that's what makes it feel like Hearthstone feels so similar to WoW, because you jump in and you choose the class that you want to play. Do you think it could ever transcend that to be more than just a class-based hero and escalate into being something like Illidan or Ragnaros?
I think it has to. Eventually down the line, I think it has to expand beyond that. I think the game also will, and Blizzard, they're not stupid. They probably have most of this done already, right? The gameplay is going to have to expand too. It's not going to be the one-on-one and then the arena stuff. I think you can really open that up to creating team-based PvE type experiences, for lack of a better term, creating a raid against an AI big-scale opponent where you, Kiggles, and I actually are on the same side of the board and working together to try and overcome the things. I think you're going to see a lot of that type of stuff because it has to. Those types of games have to expand that way, or they hit a certain point where it's just not worth playing anymore. You've seen everything, or you have every card. You can't let that happen.
And I totally agree with that. And here's the 3 things I want to see. Ready? I want to see... There's 2 things I want to see. If this pushes Magic the Gathering to actually make a rather decent online client, then I think Hearthstone has done its job. That's just my personal opinion. They need to make their own. They need to make their own tournaments. Is what they need to do. There's a lot that they can do with this. This is the template for them. If they make their own tournaments, if they do something besides just the arena and other stuff, if they actually make tournaments worth competing in, then yes, I think it would be perfect. And Leatherface said Hearthstone is very well done. It is very well done. It's just I find it way too rigid. Just the stuff that I've seen, and that has to do with classes and that mana is constant, and that it's way too rigid for me right now.
Here's the thing, Byrne, you brought up, multiple PvE duels and maybe even and that made me think of 2-on-2 kind of duels, which made me think of Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is why I started playing the theme song. And I don't know if you guys have watched that anime, but I'm a big anime fan. And I got excited when you said that, because I really liked
I didn't mean to excite you in your big head. Trust me, that was not the intent.
I really liked
that,
but I really liked I liked the anime, and I liked the way that the duels played out, and it made a really kind of fun, interesting system, and I feel that when I'm playing Hearthstone to an extent. So I think that could be, you're right, and opening up the system to do more stuff like that could be really cool.
Yep, and if Blizzard isn't doing it already, I'll do it for peanuts. But I get to play Hogger.
You're going to have a lot of peanuts here.
I am.
You share? I love peanuts.
All right, let's open up the lines and keep the show moving. Call here on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us your question.
Hello, this is Mohammed from Saudi Arabia.
Hello.
Right, so before I ask you that the show has been run for around a year. It's actually been a year already. The first episode there at the 19th September.
Oh, really? I thought we were on episode 51. I must have skipped a week because I was gonna celebrate it next week because we were on episode 51. But yay, we're a year old and I didn't realize it. I failed at knowing my own birthday for After Dark.
I've only been here 2 weeks. I don't know what you're talking about.
1 year, man. It's going by. It's going by
You're
fast.
so old, Mike Shaffnet.
So old.
Congratulations,
You
Jeff.
do all of the things for Gamebreaker.
It's true. So does Burn, though. Burn does all of the things as well.
You bounce around
Q.
everywhere, quite literally.
And Q. And Missy.
Thank you.
And
Missy,
JK.
JK,
There's
and
so
Seb,
many
Lack.
people behind the scenes. Trust me, it's not just me. Let's not start spreading that rumor. My head might be big, but it's not that big. Mohammed, what do you got for us?
Well, my question, I kind of got inspired from.
Zix, you're right. Nobody mentioned
24
Gary.
hours stream. He did the stream for Kingdom Hearts, and
Sorry, 1 second. Hang on, Mohammed, because Burn started laughing about a really funny comment, but that's totally true. None of us mentioned Gary doing anything, which is hilarious.
Wait, who's Gary Gannon? I don't know this person.
We
He's
are all
the
so
last one.
fired.
Bye. This is my second and last show.
This
It's
is
all
the
nice
last
to see
show.
you.
Thanks for watching.
We're like Sev and Lack, and hold on, let me pull up Hip Chat because I know there's names I'm missing, and nobody was like Gary Gannon. Anybody?
That's because everybody's like, he gets the credit. He's on all the other shows. Can't believe we missed Gary. We're all fired. Mohammed, what do you got for us?
alright, so I inspired for this question from this the 24-hour stream for Kingdom Hearts. And the last boss in Kingdom Hearts was like a 30-minute to 1 hour fight, but nowadays the last bosses are like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Mhm.
And the question is why final bosses are very short the fights nowadays, but before it was taking so long to kill.
I think, and Burn, I think you can back me up on this one. A big key with Kingdom Hearts and the early Final Fantasies are they were multiple boss fights. It wasn't just one encounter. Like if you qualify as the final boss fight, and I'm sure that this doesn't make your question any less of a point, but one of the big things was we used to see these epic climactic battles that took an hour and a half because it wasn't just one fight. It changed periodically, and it was like 3 or 4, sometimes 5 or 6 fights. I think the Kefka fight was, what, like at least 3, if I'm not mistaken?
Oh my god, I love that music. Don't steal my answer, Mike Byrne.
So that I think is the first thing is you might be just comparing it to you can't compare a game that has a single boss fight to a game that had 8 because they're different. Now the philosophy of having 8 boss fights could be applied. You could ask that question of why didn't they? So why do you think let's adjust the question just a little bit here, guys. Why do you think that those encounters, those type of final boss scenarios leave such an outstanding mark on us? And why do you think that some games decide not to do them?
You really want this answer?
Yes.
It's because we have ADD. We have gamer ADD. It's that easy. That's why. It's catered to the lowest common denominator, which happens to be the largest player base. I don't have 7 hours to sit. The games aren't marketed. Think of the way things were sold back when we were buying Super Nintendo cartridges, right? That was pretty much the only video game demographic at the time, and a few years before that, we were 8 to 15, 8 to 16. Maybe our dads or moms played a little bit, but they were mainly buying the product for the kids. The demographic has shifted now to a little bit of an older age bracket where you're directing the advertising and the games themselves at the bracket that's now buying them for themselves with their disposable income, not getting them from gifts from their parents. And that largest sales base has gamer ADD. They want to play it for an hour or two and accomplish a lot, and then go to work and come back and play it for an hour or two and accomplish a lot.
But what's wrong
Just
with...
look at MMOs. Just compare a raid fight now. I mean, Garrosh is a perfect example. Huge build-up, and I have no vested interest, but I was watching the fights, Garrosh fights during all the world first stuff, and they were the 10-man normals. It's not really a world first. I know it doesn't really count. Don't yell at me, but that's what their Twitch channel said. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's progression. It counts.
But the encounter still isn't all that long. It's 5 to 7 minutes ish. And think back to Vanilla and even Burning Crusade, where some of those encounters were 15 to 20 to 25-minute encounters.
Lich King was a 25-minute encounter.
Yeah.
Heroic Lich King was a 25-minute encounter.
Yeah, and everybody bitched about it. And then Cataclysm came out.
Fuck all of you, because I loved that fight, and I still love that fight today.
Hey, Icecrown is my favorite raid instance with Karazhan right behind it, so you're not going to get any argument from me on that. But it's gamer ADD is the big problem.
But why?
Simple.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but why? I get so mad at the people that caused this to happen. Why? What's
it was
wrong?
us.
I know, but I because I'm perfectly fine putting my hands up and saying, look, like, I don't have the time for this, but I don't want you to change because I don't have the time for this. I'm perfectly fine playing a game a couple hours. Like, if it meant, if I had to work my way to get to the end of a Final Fantasy, but then I had to invest, like, I knew I was on the final boss, I wouldn't want that final boss to be over in 5 to 10 minutes. I'd be perfectly fine with an hour and a half on just that final boss because I spent all this time building up to it. If you don't give me a good enough payoff, even if you've created a game that I can jump in and play for 5 to 10 minutes to an hour at a time, if I don't have the payoff at the end of the game, I'm gonna be super pissed off. So I mean, I guess I don't like why just because the ADD generation exists, I don't think that's a valid
Don't call them the
reason.
ADD generation. It's us. It's our generation. It's me and you and Kiggles and a large portion of the Gamebreaker staff that are in that 20 to 30-something age group that grew up playing games and investing a lot of time in them, but now don't have that same time but still want the experiences. So we clamor for a certain product, and then when it's given to us, we want the old product.
I can't agree with you on that because
then you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong about how I feel.
Of course you are. This is the internet. Your opinion is wrong because it's not the same as mine.
Listen, you will never hear me say this very much, but I technically agree with Mike Shaftnet here.
Damn. See,
as someone. Oh my God! You know what? I agree with you, and then you interrupt me.
Well,
no, I'm letting you go. I'm letting you go.
Maybe I am wrong.
All right.
If
so
you two agree on it, I'm wrong.
I am someone who has been a raider since I raided as a fire mage in Molten Core. But I'm not okay. So I'm real stupid like that. But that's when I started WoW. I have been raiding since Vanilla, and yes, there is a difference between the raids then and the raids now, but there's also a difference between the 5-man content and the 5-man content now. And I loved the 5-man content in Vanilla, those sprawling Skullomance, just the big, you could explore, but that's not what the game is anymore. And the thing is, you brought up the diving earlier, and all athletes will tell you this, and you might find it cliche, but it's not about the results, it's about the experience. And the reason I raid now is because I have created this circle of friends that I don't see ever in person, but I get together with 3 hours a day, 3 days a week, and we raid, and we play WoW, and that's what we do together. And so I enjoy hanging out with them, and then by proxy, I enjoy the raids. Are they shorter? Yes. But the thing is, you have to look at the kind of content that's coming out now. Yes, someone brought up Twin Emperors earlier, and the thing is, it's not going to be that way anymore. It's a bigger, fragmented fan base than it was back in the day, and it needs to. You need to follow the money. I mean, you have to. That's based there. It's a business. You might not like it, but it's a business. And if shorter, more compact content is what brings the numbers in, then that's what brings the numbers in.
I think we're agreeing then. We just have a different reason for the change.
Really?
We're agreeing that the content has changed, and we're agreeing that it was a mind shift in the way we play games and what we look for in games and our demographic. I just blame it on ADD, where you are attributing it to you're looking for a different experience than you did way back when you were on a Super Nintendo.
Here's my
We
problem.
agree, it's just a different reason.
Here's my problem on the whole entire argument and situation. Honest to God, as much as I hate to say this, and I know that they can't, because like we're the core people that are they're expanding the reach because they're now accessing the new generation and us, so they need to make sure that we're encapsulated. Honest to God, I want this ADD generation or us to be forgotten about, because you're screwing up the experiences for everybody new who had the time, who's the generation that we were when we had the time to play these games, and you're making crap experiences for them because you're too busy catering to us. I get it. We're too busy and it sucks. But you know what? That shouldn't mean that the games are less enjoyable because of it. Either make the time or just get over the fact that you don't have the time anymore. You have to grow up at some point. And I hate that.
They are. You're just a jaded old man.
I was going to say, this is the third episode in a row where some topic has caused Shaftnet to go, it was so much better when I was growing up.
No, but it's not even that it was, it's not even that, it is that it was better. And the problem is that, and tell me, are the easier, we're getting calls about this. People are calling about these experiences, asking about why it's not the way it used to be. And it's because they're catering to us. But
because it never is. Everybody reminisces about the past. I think that's a common misconception, is that back then it was better. No, it was different. Just like our parents thought it was different. Just like my kids, their children will think that it was different. That's a misconception that's false. It's different because there's a different generation, a different mentality, and that's who you market to. We're quickly leaving the market here.
Yep.
In a few years, we are not going to be the target demographic anymore. In fact, I'm 3 years away from being out of that 25 to 35 bracket.
Oh my God, better get him a cane.
Yeah, better give me a cane. But I'm never going to grow up, and I don't think the experiences now are less than what they were then. I think the experiences are delivered in a different medium, in a different fashion, and they're still as compelling if they're not as long. It's a trade-off. I think that's a misconception, that things were better then. It's the nostalgia factor.
It's like this with everything, though. It's you're waiting for something. You're waiting for something, right? And it's going to be the best thing ever. You're going to love it. You're going to play it so much. It's going to be great. And then when you play it, you've hyped it up way too much, and so it's like, oh, this shit sucks. Fuck that shit. and then when you get past it a couple years, and you've grown over that stupid hype train, and you actually look at it, this is my experience. You look at it, you're like, yeah, it was actually fun. Why can't this stuff be like that? And then it's just this repeating cycle over and over until you're in your goddamn grave. So grow up, America.
Games aren't an experience if you don't get the opportunity to create an experience. And I feel that with some of the direction that developers are taking it, they're taking the experience away in order to cater to us who are too busy for it anymore.
Oh, come on.
No, they're not. Go
Really?
slower, Mike Shaftnet. Taste the flavor, okay?
I absolutely
Not only
feel
that, but you're blaming them for creating something in a way that isn't meaningful, when if they didn't create it at all, it would have no meaning from the get-go. You can't say that. That's not fair.
I can say whatever the fuck I want. It's the internet. I don't know. I agree with you guys. I think that maybe I'm wrong in saying that the experiences are worse off now. And Burn, with what you were saying earlier, I think I agree with you.
You shouldn't compare them.
But I do think I'm perfectly justified and will still stand on my stance that the generation of people that don't have the time to play the video games aren't the ones that they should be made for, because you're taking away from you're taking the experience away from the people who have the time to do so. That would be like saying that the video games that we were playing that we enjoyed because they were so immersive and so crazy, but they were being catered to our parents who were too busy, so it was really just a 3-hour video game. And we didn't get to immerse ourselves in that world, because who cares if we had all the time in the world when we were growing up? Our parents didn't, so we didn't get to get games like that. That's my argument with it. I don't disagree with what you guys are saying.
You're falling into the trap, though, because it's not. You can't compare what you did growing up to what you're doing now, because you're a different person, Mike Shaftman. You were a child.
I'm not comparing
then.
me, though. The thing is I'm not comparing me. I'm comparing the games. I want the games.
But you are comparing you. You're
no.
You're saying the games are different, but no, you're
I'm
putting
saying
We had
you as
shitty
different.
games back then too. I mean,
we had
some pretty crappy games.
really shitty. Yes, absolutely. But what I'm saying is this, and it happens. The gaming market is one of the largest growing markets out there right now. So to tell them you're not allowed to expand is wrong and outlandish, and I'm not saying that. But I'm saying
to tell them they're doing it wrong is also equally as outlandish.
Yeah, but that's our job.
We're allowed to critique. That's what we get to do.
That's what I don't get paid for, Mike Byrne. Okay.
All right.
It's the biggest industry. It's growing so fast, but they're doing it wrong.
I'm not even going to continue this, because I'm sure this is going to come up again at another point, because I like to talk about how the gaming years of yesteryear were so much better. So we got to move on. We're already over time.
One more thing,
and then we got to go.
All right, so you were bringing up WoW as this, and this is where WoW is falling into this trap, okay? Because it's trying to cater to everyone. It's trying to cater to the casuals. It's trying to cater to the hardcore people, and it's not catering to everyone. Everyone's like, this game sucks, and it's like, but it's not. You're just not happy with what they're doing.
I don't have a problem with the way that WoW tries to cater to everyone. I think that what WoW needs to do, because I like LFR, I think LFR has a place for people like myself who don't have the time like they used to. I think that, but it's not for you. And again, I'm even fighting against what I was just saying. It's not for you. Flex is for me, who doesn't have the time and just needs to be able to find a raid group, and I just want to see the content, and it's great. They're making it easy, they're making it accessible, but the problem that it runs into is when it's affecting the other parts of the game, and this is where I think that WildStar is doing a really good job, and they're doing it properly. The game's not out yet, so I don't know this for a fact, but from the theory of what they're talking about, there's nothing wrong with creating a game or creating multiple games that target something for everyone. But the moment that you're starting to create a game and you try and make something for everything, or you try and make one thing for everyone instead of making something for everyone, that's where you go wrong. Because then you're just robbing the experience in any direction, whether the people from the hardcore, you're robbing it from the casuals, or the casuals, you're robbing it from the hardcore, and back and forth, because that's the argument that people have. But as long as they create a system where you're targeting multiple things for multiple people, and that's what WoW does, I think you're on the right track of what you need to be doing.
All right, I can agree with that.
All right, let's move on.
I'm a big fan of the longer fights.
That's it. Ain't a short answer.
I don't mind them, but I have a small bladder, so I really don't like them.
Caller, you're on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, tell us your question.
Hey, I'm Ryan from Connecticut, and before I start anything, I could not have asked for a better intro to my question.
Oh God, same topic. We were trying to get off it.
Like, out of anything you could have been talking about, that is better than anything I could have hoped. My question is about World of Warcraft, but more specifically, how Blizzard every once in a while brings back some old stuff, like how they redid Scarlet Monastery for this expansion.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, do you think people would see more revamps, or instances just straight up revived, where no changes to the mechanics or the bosses or anything like that, just sprinkle some levels on it?
I don't even think they'll sprinkle levels on it. And they've been talking about this. They obviously have the tech they've proved that they've got the tech with Proving Grounds to scale you down. They've proved they have the tech with challenge modes to scale you down. They've even talked about creating a queue system specifically for old raids, like LFR or Flex, that you can get people together. You can go queue for Black Temple, and you'll be scaled down to proper difficulty and can do Black Temple back at the difficulty that it once was. So I think that's absolutely a scenario that they're looking at.
One drawback is you don't get the shinies that way. You go back, you do the content, and you have fun doing that, but there's no shinies at the end because it's the same loot.
So, okay, but you
level of loot,
right?
The thing I don't like about that whole system, Chef, is that it caters to that idea of it's okay to take power away, and I don't like that. I mean, you worked to get to 90, you worked to have this gear, you worked to have these abilities and set a rotation and do all these, and then we're gonna scale things back so that you can go and do something. To answer the question of if I would rather see a revamp of old raids or just a straight scale up and make them relevant again, I like the revamp things that have been done in the past with like a ZA, where it was a 10-man and they scaled it and revamped it for a 5-man group. I like those types of revamps. I would sub up again tomorrow if 10-man Kara was a level 90 raid with a challenge back in it and gear.
I love Kara.
I would sub up tomorrow and start gearing my 90 mage back up to go and do it. So that's the way I would rather see it. I'd rather see them made relevant again rather than revamped. Although the ZA revamp was good in my book. I like that.
I know that what you're saying is definitely concerned and valid. And that's even a concern that Blizzard has come out and specifically stated. I think that's one of the reasons why they're looking into how to do it specifically, because like you said, they don't want to take the power away from the player when they make that system happen. The other reason why I think that they'll be able, they're looking for a good solution to that is because the other obviously big hot controversy that's in the same vein is the item squish. And they've already talked about it can't compile the numbers for how high things are going anymore. So they're going to have to do an item squish and pull back the numbers to make people feel less powerful, but they don't want to do that. So they've got those problems to overcome as it is. And I think once they figure out how to get over that hurdle, they'll be able to apply it to this downgraded Flex old raid system in a way that still caters to your concern.
If you put a gun to my head and maybe choose if I would rather have them revamp or scale, I would probably say scale, because I don't have that problem with scaling down. And I've shared my view of expansions as an expansion as a whole a few times about WoW, and how people say, oh, stuff is too easy at the end, and people go through stuff way too fast, like how Method and Blood Legion are just tearing through it. But that happens at the end of an expansion because they've had a whole expansion to gear up, whereas at the beginning you don't have that much expansion. Now I need to go back to the scale down. I don't like when they take things out. I don't like when they revamp them. I don't like when they bring them up to a new level, because that's the lore for that level. That is the story of this game. And I don't like when they do that, because then they take it out of place. And it doesn't work for me. Like how they took ZG out. I loved ZG. ZG was maybe one of my favorite raids, because it was one of the first times I ever started healing and learning about. And I hated when they took that out, because it just seems like you don't want to take things out. You just want to add things. And it helps create the diversity of story in the game. And I don't like the revamp. It just doesn't, especially like this, like the stuff with Scarlet Monastery. It just seemed so out of place. So out of place with the Pandaria lore and all of that stuff going into it. I didn't get it, and it didn't appeal to me. It was just another dungeon.
To be clear here, Chef, I don't disagree with like the item squish or that type of global one-time drop in power. That, I mean, it totally needs to happen. Should have happened an expansion or two ago, for being fair. But the thing that I don't like is that one-time scale where the three of us, get some friends and we're going to go run Kara, and so it scales us down to 70 and lets us run it, and then we can come out, we're 90 again. I don't like that type of thing. But a one-time squish across the board to reset the numbers, yeah, I'm totally in favor of that. No problem. Just to be clear there, that wasn't what I was disagreeing to.
Real quick before we wrap up the show, I want to tell you guys about a sponsor we have. I told you guys about Dexter. It's a great show on Showtime that you guys should go check it out if you can, because the series finale just happened, but it sucked, so maybe not. But what didn't suck is the books, Darkly Dreaming Dexter, which are available on audible.com right now. You can actually go catch up. I think all of the Dexter books are available right now. Right now on Audible, and it's a great, for those of you guys who maybe haven't seen Dexter, just a quick plot synopsis. It's about a blood spatter analyst who works for the Miami Metro Department, and so he works for the police, but he's got a dark secret, and he's a serial killer. But the serial killing that he does is only to the people who he finds to be bad, which are typically killers and murderers themselves, rapists, et cetera, et cetera. And it's honestly, I remember hearing about this show and this book when it first came out a couple years ago. And I really wasn't turned on by the idea from the plot synopsis, but just give it a little bit of time. Give it one audiobook. And if you don't like the series, then come back and I guess tell me you didn't like it. But I guarantee you that after one, you'll be intrigued enough that you want to keep listening, you want to keep reading, and maybe even check out the show that just finished up its series. So go check it out. Darkly Dreaming Dexter, book one, and actually multiple books are also available on audible.com. If you head on over to audible.com right now, and if you actually audible.com/Gamebreaker, you get 30 days free, and you can get a free audiobook, so you can pick up Darkly Dreaming Dexter right now. Kiggles, you can follow him right down there at Kiggles, or at the Zach Schultz, sorry. Not Kiggles.
At Zach Schultz. Damn it.
I said the Zach Schultz. I just said D really fast.
For what, a year now? You think you'd get stuff right.
Yeah, you've been here for a year. I'm sorry. I should have known by now. Mike Byrne, you can follow him right down there at MagicMan1 with 2 N's. Catch him over on XIV. Free-to-play.tv, all over the place, as well as a producer for XIV Waypoint. So check all that stuff out.
And Saren is mad that we did not talk about Steam OS. Your Twitter question, the answer is yes, of course. Valve is going to give away freebies to try and entice you to use it, of course.
I thought I had that in here. I totally didn't, but we just didn't get to it. We were too busy. I was too busy complaining about yesteryear to get to your question. I apologize. Follow me down here right at Mike Shavnit. Catch me over on Legendary and all over Gamebreaker. We do this show live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. PST. Where it's a live call-in show where you see anything can happen. We don't even know how the show. No notes. It's literally just you guys call in and we talk and we let the conversation go for an hour. So if you guys haven't watched it in live, help come tune in live and help dictate the conversation by calling in. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next week.